Actor and comedian Ronnie Schell had a golden opportunity. For 3 years, he had been enjoying playing a popular character on a top 10 rated show, which had been spun off from another top 10 rated show. In situations like that, offers come calling, and they can be difficult to turn down. So, what was it that caused Ronnie Schell, aka Duke Slater, to leave a good job on a good show where he had made such good friends, and why did he come back? There's more to the story. Ronald Ralph Schell was born in Richmond, California in 1931. Surprisingly, he did not start out in life wanting to be a comedian or an actor. He felt that his true calling was on the baseball diamond, and though he did reach semi-pro leagues, a career in baseball was not meant to be. He was a good player, just not very fast. As luck would have it, he discovered his talent for comedy while serving in the United States Air Force. Ronnie worked up an act and used his skills to MC shows put on by the service club. It wasn't long before he started performing during intermission for the Air Force Dance Band, which allowed him to hone his skills even more. After the service, he attended San Francisco State University while also trying his hand as a professional comedian playing the nightclub scene. After college, he performed in many places, including the legendary Purple Onion in San Francisco, the same club that helped launch the careers of the Smothers Brothers, Richard Pryor, and Lenny Bruce. His act caught the attention of George Fenneman, the announcer of Groucho Marx's game show You Bet Your Life, which led to Ronnie auditioning for the show. Soon, Ronnie found himself making his television debut explaining the language of beatnik jive to the legendary Groucho Marx, and as an added bonus, he also guessed the secret word. Ronnie was enjoying a pretty successful career working as the opening act for many performers, including Andy Griffith, Phyllis Diller, and the Kingston Trio, and eventually he was able to come under the management of Richard Link. As it turned out, Richard Link was also the manager for Andy Griffith and was responsible for introducing Andy to Jim Nabors. And when Jim was spun off into his own show, Gomer Pyle, Ronnie came on as his buddy, Duke Slater. Since the show was dependent on the two strong, over-the-top personalities of Gomer and the long-suffering Sergeant Carter, played by Frank Sutton, producer Aaron Rubin felt they needed the character of Duke to represent the point of view of the audience and react as they would. Ronnie would play Duke for 3 seasons until another door opened. CBS developed a new sitcom called Good Morning World, and it had a lot going for it. It was created and produced by Carl Reiner, Sheldon Leonard, Bill Persky, and Sam Denoff, the same team that had been responsible for the Dick Van Dyke Show. Persky and Denoff had based the show on their experiences working as writers for disc jockeys on WNEW in New York City. Ronnie would star as Larry Clark, a drive-time radio DJ on a show called Lewis and Clark, which he co-hosted with a character named Dave Lewis. Along with Ronnie, the cast included Joby Baker as Dave Lewis and Julie Parrish as Dave's wife Linda, both of whom had impressive resumes of film and television work. Billy DeWolf, an experienced veteran of stage and screen, was cast as the station manager. And in addition to that, they also had a relative newcomer, a young blonde actress that would play Ronnie's love interest. The show had all the ingredients of a long-running, successful sitcom, but unfortunately, it was not without its problems. Joby Baker, though a good actor, had trouble remembering his lines. Julie Parrish was having some health difficulties, and the young blonde? Well, she just didn't like to rehearse. So much so that Ronnie took it upon himself to warn her that she might not make it in the business. Little could he have known. It was also pitted opposite NBC's Tuesday Night at the Movies, which was very popular. After 1 season, Good Morning World was canceled. So what was Ronnie to do? Well, he got another offer. An offer to come back to his old show, but not as Private Duke Slater, but as Corporal Duke Slater. Though it was good news for Ronnie, it was not so good for Roy Stewart, who had been playing Corporal Chuck Boyle since the 2nd season. Ronnie felt bad about Stewart being let go, but Roy harbored no ill feelings and was very nice about it. He had just been happy to have the job for so long. Because of this, Ronnie would recommend Roy for jobs whenever he could. Roy went on to a string of appearances in commercials, movies, and television shows before passing away in 2005 at the age of 78. Ronnie played Corporal Duke Slater for the 5th and final season of Gomer Pyle, at which time Jim Nabors decided to hang up the uniform and go on to host the Jim Nabors Hour. Jim felt that he was getting too old to be playing a private, and a variety show would give him a chance to do more singing. But he wouldn't go to the new show by himself. He took his 2 friends from Gomer Pyle with him, Ronnie Schell and Frank Sutton. The Jim Nabors Hour would only last 2 seasons, after which Nabors would go on to concentrate on his singing career, recording and touring, along with appearances in film and television. Frank Sutton would go on to appear in television shows and stage plays until he passed away unexpectedly in 1974 at the age of 50. As for Ronnie, his career after Gomer Pyle is an almost unending list of credits. In addition to his work as a comedian, he amassed a long list of roles in movies, television shows, and commercials. And even if you didn't see his face, you certainly heard his voice. In later years, he toured with his own stand-up retrospective show where he would reminisce about his career and show outtakes from Gomer Pyle. Ronnie has also been known to make appearances at the Mayberry Day celebration in Mount Airy, North Carolina, hometown of longtime friend Andy Griffith, and home to the Andy Griffith Museum. As for his relationship with Neighbors, the two remained close friends until Neighbors' death. Ronnie describes Jim as the big brother he never had, and only one of two people he ever met who never had an enemy, the other being his wife, Janet. Ronnie jokingly says about his career that it's lonely in the middle, but as far as his fans are concerned, he's somewhere on top. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe so you can see what subject we'll explore next.